So you've got this brilliant idea, right? But the whole startup world, it feels completely overwhelming. You're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to crack open Dr. Ebi Ofrey's book, Breaking the Startup Code, and give you a super clear, actionable blueprint for your journey. Let's dive in. And that's exactly what this is all about. I love this quote because it sets the stage perfectly. It's not about having every single answer before you begin. It's about asking the right questions from day one. So where do we start? Well, it all begins right here, inside your head, with your mindset. Before you write a single line of code or sketch out a logo, you need to answer one absolutely fundamental question about what you're trying to build. Are you building a business or are you building a startup? Now, they might sound like the same thing, but trust me, they are worlds apart. Knowing the difference is going to define your entire path, from how you plan to grow to how you get money in the door. Okay, let's break this down because it's so important. A business, like a local restaurant, usually follows a proven model. You know who your customers are, and you're aiming for nice, stable growth. A startup? That's a different beast entirely. It's built on a disruptive idea for a customer you think exists. The goal isn't just to be our own boss. It's to change the world with explosive exponential growth. And it's funded by investors who are totally comfortable with that high-stakes risk. And that wild ambition for exponential growth, that leads us right to our next point. You see, a true startup doesn't just bolt on technology as a nice-to-have feature. No, technology is in its DNA. It's built into the very core of the thing, all for one reason: massive scale. And this is just a brilliant illustration of that idea. Dr. Ofrey's own company, GeroCare, started out as a local service for doctor visits, but by building a smart, cloud-based system, it became a hospital without walls. A child living anywhere on the planet can use an app to get healthcare for their parent back in Nigeria. An algorithm instantly finds a local doctor, and the child gets real-time updates. You see, the tech is the business. And the result of that tech-first thinking? Well, check out this number, 36. GeroCare scaled from just one city to covering all 36 states of Nigeria. Now that is the kind of exponential growth that separates a startup from a traditional business. It's all about creating leverage to do way more with way less. Now, scaling like that takes fuel. And for startups, that fuel comes from a very different world than your typical bank loan. This brings us to the unique life cycle of startup funding. So, the crucial thing to get here is that each stage has a totally different goal and a different kind of funder. Pre-seed is just for your idea, funded by people who believe in you, your friends, your family. Then, the seed round, usually from angel investors, is all about finding out if people actually want your product. We call that product market fit. And only when you've proven that do you go to the big guns, the VCs, for a Series A round to step on the gas and really scale. But here's a huge warning. At one point, GeroCare was offered a $150,000 investment, and then the deal fell through. It was crushing at the time, but looking back, it was a blessing. Why? Because they hadn't actually validated their model yet. All that cash would have just amplified their mistakes. Remember, more money doesn't fix a bad idea. It just helps you fail bigger and faster. Which leads us perfectly to the mistakes every founder seems to make. And while you can't avoid all of them, knowing about the most common and the most fatal traps can absolutely save your company. This one is the big one. You fall so deeply in love with your own brilliant concept that you start ignoring what the market is telling you. You end up building something nobody actually wants because you're obsessed with the idea, not with solving a real customer's problem. The solution is captured in this powerful little mantra. Your loyalty shouldn't be to your original idea. It should be to solving the problem. So if the market tells you to change course, to pivot, you listen. You can be stubborn about your overall vision for sure, but you have to be flexible on how you actually get there. The second major trap is what we call premature scaling. This is when you hire a big team, rent a fancy office, or spend a ton of money on marketing before you've actually proven that people want and will pay for your product. You're basically trying to sprint before you've even learned to walk. So the solution is simple to say, but really, really hard to do. Focus all your energy, all your resources on one thing and one thing only: achieving product market fit. Prove that there is real demand for what you've built. Once you have that, then you can pour what investors call gasoline on the fire. So how do you keep all of these pieces straight? You need a compass to help you navigate all the chaos. And that's where your startup roadmap comes in. Now, this isn't some static business plan you write once and then it gathers dust. No way. It's a living document that outlines your vision, your key milestones, and how you're going to get customers. Critically, it includes a dashboard of the key numbers you're going to obsess over, like customer acquisition cost or CAC, lifetime value or LTV, and your burn rate. That's how fast you're spending cash. And finally, it defines your dream team, the classic hacker to build it, the hipster to design it, and the hustler to sell it. This is the document that keeps you focused.
And there you have it. You've got the blueprint. You know the difference between a business and a startup. You know how to think about scale, about funding, and the common traps to avoid. The theory part is done. The only thing left to do is start. So the real question is, what massive problem are you going to solve?